Hello, beautiful souls. Let's get into it. I want to talk about when you have a loved one that has crossed over. I've spoke about it before, but I want to keep talking about it because I feel at this time right now, so much people are losing their loved ones. I've lost so many, and the old me would have been so broken, would have been so hurt, would have been so upset, would have been so sad, right? But through my spiritual journey, I've learned to understand when someone crosses over, it's not the end. It may be the end for the vessel, the body, but it's not the end of that person being in your life. It's not the end. And like I was saying, when I say it's not the end, because energy doesn't die, right? It transfers. So that vessel, the body, it's tired. It goes through things, and we have to understand some has their expiration dates. You understand? And as that body do its thing, the spirit, that energy, it's still very much around you. What's important that I feel that a lot of people need to learn is when you lose someone or someone has crossed over, you have to rebuild another relationship, another way to communicate with that person. Okay? I think instead of being sad and being upset and being angry or whatever it is, I think you need to find a way to reconnect with that person and build another relationship. Not to say the relationship you have with that person is gone. No. Now you have to build a relationship where you know how to speak to the energy. You build a relationship where you can talk to, just like I talk to my best friend that has crossed over. I talk to her all the time and I'm like, Bren, like, how could you do this? Or Bren, sis, I need you right now. Like, I call her out and I promise you something will show up and I'll know, okay, she hears me. You understand? You have to build a relationship with that loved one that has crossed over. It's not the end. You understand? It's not the end. And I always talk about my story because my daughter died years back, and I was angry as well. Like I was saying, I was very upset. I blamed myself so much. For years, I was blaming myself, and I was like, it's because of me. I wasn't here. I was in Haiti. If I was here, I probably could have stopped her. And you go through guilt. You go through guilt. No matter how much you trying to tell yourself no, it's not your fault, or people trying to tell you it's not your fault, but the guilt, and you start missing the person. It's like, you like, why, and like I said, I was very angry, not until I moved to Florida and I started my spiritual journey and I started connecting with my elements and I started understanding, my divinity, and I started hearing my divinity talk to me. I started seeing things, and I started feeling her around. I started seeing a yellow and black butterfly around me. So I felt her. And the fact that I guess I don't know her journey. I didn't understand her journey. And at the time, I don't even think I understood the meaning of everyone having their own journey. You understand? I don't know what was written for her, just as much as she doesn't know what was written for me. But the thing was, we built this relationship here on this planet, and I'm here and she's not. So that's what I was focusing on, and through time and through a lot of meditation and a lot of connecting, I had this wild experience, and she came to me. She was like, Ma, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I have what's written for me, Ma. It's not your fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, and that helps me be able to cope and understand, I couldn't prevent it. And the fact that's my child, I would think that I would go before her. You understand? And me and her used to always talk about it. I'm like, you're my only girl. You got to make sure you take it. You know, I don't want to be put in a nursing home. And she would be like, Ma, I would never put you in a nursing home. Da, da, da. We had conversations, and now, you know, boom, my daughter is on the other side. But I was angry about that for a very long time. But like I said, when I started connecting with my higher self and I was going through my spiritual awakening, I understand, you know what, she has her own journey that is written for her, and she has to continue her path, you know. And me and her will cross path again, but she's also protecting the family as she's on her own journey. So my take on it is, when you have someone that has crossed over, it could be a friend, a child, a family, a mother, a father, whatever, you've gained a new angel on your team. You've gained like a new soldier on your team. You have someone, you know, you can really talk to, that's been here, that's seen what's going on. And that's also on the other side, that you can be like, yo, sis, like me, I'll be like, yo, sis, you see what's going on, listen, do your thing. Like I said, I have so much to talk about on my podcast, because if I wasn't so connected with my tribe, my spirit team, there's things that I've gotten out of, I would have never gotten out of it. And even when I talk about it on my podcast, people's gonna be like, you bugging. What? That's not true. That's not true. And like everybody, I have receipts to prove everything. You understand? But for those of you who's lost a loved one has crossed over, instead of crying and grieving and thinking it's the end, build a, like I was saying, learn to reconnect with them on a different frequency. Learn to reconnect with that loved one, your grandmother, your grandfather, whoever you were so close with that has crossed over. Don't see it like, oh my God, it's the end. I'll never see my grandmother again. You may never see her in that body again, but she's around. She's around you. And people always talk about that. Oh, if you don't call out to your ancestors, you don't call out to your mom, your dad, your whomever it is that has crossed over, when you are in need, who's going to protect you? Who is going to protect you? Like, you have to call out for them. That's why they have crossed over, to be able to tell you, you know what, don't go out today. Don't eat with this person. Don't trust that person. They are there to guide you. You know, build a new relationship with your loved one that has crossed over. Stay tuned for the